on into it. With a special lens and everything. Who the fuck still streams with webcams? That's the real question. If you're doing like a Discord call on a webcam, yeah. Reveals his real voice. Is it on his page or is it like... If it's on his page, then it's some fucking stupid clickbait shit. Yeah, I had to get that deluxe. Yeah, I had to get that deluxe version. Man, what the fuck? So it's on his page for clickbait. Man, what the fuck? I already knew it was gonna be some clickbait shit on this nigga's page. What am I supposed to be clicking on, bro? The Covenant merch is coming, it's coming. Yeah, it's coming. I still got some shit dropping for the winter. It's not that. All right, which one do I need to click on? First video, but it's on his fucking page, so it's bullshit.
I don't like to really expose myself like that. I like to stay low.
Ask him, oh, it's a fix. It's just for the body. I said,
bro, I should, man, if I could virtual slap you niggas, I would. The fuck kind of bullshit was that? It's not his fucking real voice. I just heard it. That's bullshit. Bro, you niggas are gullible as fuck. Bruh. All right, so here's this dude explaining why he decided to put hands on a 19-year-old skinny white kid.
What's the deal? Welcome back to the Monday show. The whole cast here. Welcome back, Almighty.
I'm back. Thank you for having me back, y'all.
welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
How the fuck is this on No Jumper Clips with bootleg quality?
I was sick, so I had to miss
This shit ain't even HD.
Shout out to Les and Rob for holding it down.
Came back looking like some Pepto-Bismol. Let's go.
Shout out to Colosso Drip. You know, they got me with the custom.
That shit clean.
Gina on the back.
I need one.
Shout out
Fly
to
Gerber
Colosso.
activities, Fly Gerber activities.
You see me. We've ever.
Like this is something that like AD got. Sorry, it's an OTF member. And like man,
hold that Langolin niggas.
Look, in all honesty, bro, I want to apologize to No Jumper everybody here and the staff, you feel me, who was around, you know what I'm saying? Because that shit wasn't cool. That shit wasn't professional. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, this nigga's an ex-dork. So he's one of those inner honey badger because on his hand he has a fucking Majin Buu tattoo symbol on the front base of his hand. So he grew up watching DBZ.
Because I'm not feeling like no nigga call me a bitch.
Yeah, you're not fooling nobody, bro. See, niggas always like to do this type of shit. It makes him an ex-dork, bro. He was one of those niggas in high school that ran to the Dragon Ball Z room and shit. I'm telling you. A lot of us niggas were ex-dorks, and then we'll get like a little bit of money or something like that, and then we'll start being like a fake nigga. Basically. Trust me, before I knew who I was one of those guys. Like, I was always a secret dork. You know, I fucking liked all the fucking geek shit. And then to be cool around blacks, because I wanted to fit in, I started doing black shit. So he's basically one of those. If you're black, you know what I'm talking about. We grew up like in all the dork shit, playing with all the fucking Game Boys and video games and fucking being in the X-Men. Like, we was all on that type of shit. We was on that geeky nerd, comic book, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, everything type shit. And we got scorned, you know, from our community for liking that shit. And so we tried to go the nigga way. So before I found out who I really was, I tried to go the nigga way myself when I knew deep down inside I still loved video games. I still loved comics. To an extent, I still loved like geek shit. And so there was like a particular point in time in my life where like I tried kicking it around niggas and trying to figure out ways to get in trouble so I could be cool and, you know, be cool with the blacks. And then I was like, wait a minute, this ain't even really me. So there was this one time, there was this fair, right? Because we got a fair out here sometime. And it was these two dudes that I was kicking it with for like a whole summer. And they were like involved in like quote unquote thug shit or whatever. I was like, damn, I'm cool now. I'm kicking it with blacks. Like, damn, I'm considered a thug. Oh shit. You know, we just rolling around the city together, like picking up bitches, going to the mall, you know, doing pointless nigga shit. You know, niggas like to kick it at malls and shit. Or used to. I don't really see blacks at malls like that anymore. But so basically, you know, they was like, yeah, we just gonna let you walk in the hood, bro. I was like, walk in the hood. I was like, y'all not gonna jump me in? They was like, nah, they was like, nah, we ain't trying to jump you in, my nigga. We just gonna do you a solid and let you walk in the hood. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, what's the hood? They was like, nigga, you know what it is already, my nigga. Don't even play those type of games. I was like, all right, for sure. They was like, all right, shit. So, all right, basically the rules are it's gonna be hood meetups, hood barbecues, hood parties. You gotta attend all that shit. I was like, all right, cool. So I'm kicking it with all these niggas, goons, honey badgers, everything, right? So the breaking point for me, long story short, was the fair was coming up. So what me and my friends used to do, we used to get our quote unquote fair fits ready. You know, we had our forces, all that shit. We used to get our fair fits ready like months in advance to make sure we had our shit together. So the two homies was like, yeah, my nigga, they was like, hey, be ready. I'm not gonna tell you what they used to call me. It's like, hey, yeah, be ready, such and such. It's like, yeah, cause it's about to go down. We about to beef with these such and such niggas. It's going down, nigga. Be ready to put in that work, bro, on the real shit though, my nigga. This is your chance. I was like, all right, cool. So, man, we get to the fair. We see, like, all the opposing honey badgers. And, man, when I tell you these motherfuckers just, we were, like, in this alley. And, like, it was just basically like an African movie. Like, Everybody was just throwing rocks at each other. There was like a truck with a bunch of shovels and bullshit in the back. People was throwing shovels. Nobody wanted to engage. Everybody was just throwing like random shit at each other. And then my homie that everybody for some reason respected this nigga, like he was just the ultimate dude. He was like this 5'3" dude with a gang of bootleg tattoos. They used to call him Casanova. So this dude, he's like, man, fuck y'all. He's like, man, y'all niggas ain't putting in work. So he ran after like 5 niggas with a shovel, and they just thought he was the most ultimate thug just because he did that. It was like, damn, this nigga really ran. And it's like, hey, let's go follow this nigga. Blah, blah, blah. I seen these dudes just acting like straight up honey badgers and just being typical niggas. I sat back. I said, man, I already know they're gonna look at me like some sort of a bitch, but I was like, man, this isn't me. So after a whole summer of trying to be a nigga the wrong way, I stayed back. And I remember I couldn't find him in the fair, so I called him on myself. I was like, where you guys at? He's like, oh, nigga. They was like, you bitched out, nigga. It's like, where the fuck was you at when we was over there putting in work? I was like, I couldn't find y'all. Like, I lied. I was like, man, I couldn't find you niggas, blah, blah, blah. It was like, all right, meet up over here, my nigga. We gonna take you home. We about to go ride on these niggas, though, but we gonna drop you off before we do it. So, hold on, I got a burp. All right, I don't have to burp. So basically, they taking me home. I'm like, man, I was like, man, let me ride with you guys. He's like, nah, you ain't about that life, my nigga. He's like, we about to drop you off, nigga. You on that weird shit, blah, blah, blah. So they dropped me off. And the next morning, my mom, because my mom knew one of the homies' moms. So she was like, the next morning, she was like, were you hanging out with such and such last night? I was like, yeah, why? She was like, because they're in jail this morning. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, she was like, she was like, he's in jail and they got caught in a car with a loaded gun. So if they did drop you off, or if you were with them, like you say you were, you're lucky that you weren't in the car. So he ended up like getting out, like, I think he ended up getting out after the weekend because like one of the other dudes took the rap for the gun or whatever. And after that, it was that basically. And the whole story about how these are the same 2 dudes. Remember I told you guys a story about how one of these grimy ass niggas like tried to fuck, well, he fucked one of my exes, so I fucked one of his. Yeah, after that, that was basically the end of that. That was like the nail in the coffin. After that, we never hung out like that again. It was a wrap. So I just went back to being me. I went back to being a kid playing games and kicking it around my non-black friends and just feeling safe and just having a good time. I wasn't involved with a bunch of honey badger activity, trying to be a fake ass thug, with a Martian boot symbol tattooed on my hand, start smoking weed, firing off on 19-year-old white boys I know I could beat up, like this dude right here on screen. Are they dead or in jail now? Nah. One of the dudes, he like disappeared. I remember I tried adding him on Instagram a couple of times a couple of years ago, and he just kept denying my request. So, but obviously I don't think he's doing shit in life. And then the other dude, he like just became like an ultimate dad. Like he's got like a fucking son that he's like teaching boxing, and he got married and just went the straight edge way. The one where we like fucked each other's exes. Yeah. Yeah, basically that's why they kind of did me a solid by dropping me off. Ever fought any of those homies? Nah. I've only ever fought blacks in my life, but I've never fought them. Yeah, one became a family man, and one just probably just a regular basic ass nigga just still trying to chase bitches and shit like he always did. No, but all right, so here's the thing. Remember the first Tyron Woodley? Hold on, which Tyron Woodley fight did he get KO'd? The second or the first? Okay. So I think the honey badger where he had fucked some, well, I guess I don't know if you want to call her an ex, but we'll just call it that. I was a teenager or whatever. But so the one where we fucked each other's exes. So on the second Tyron Woodley fight, we used to follow each other on Instagram. So I commented on a random post saying Tyron Woodley took the dive. I said, man, Tyron Woodley, his legacy is done. He took the dive. So remember, we were following each other on Instagram for years. He had like all these fake ass followers. He had like 40K with like 100 likes on each picture with no comments. So I had commented on a random post. I think it was like, I forgot what post it was. It was some like popular sports shit. And this dude, hold up. Bro, this dude must have remembered that I had banged this bitch after he tried to pull some sneaky shit and bang one of mine. This dude must have remembered that because this motherfucker just like fired off on me. On some Instagram comments, he's like, you a bitch, nigga. He's like, you don't even know what the fuck you talk about, nigga. He didn't take no dive, nigga. We used to train with that nigga in boxing. Tyron Woodley, a real one, my nigga. I was like, I said, you do realize I'm not the same motherfucker you knew when we were kids, right? I said, I will choke your ass out. Whether you box or not, nigga, I will put your ass to sleep, bro. He was like, oh, nigga, he's like, come do something about it, nigga. Come to the gym, blah, blah, blah. Come to the gym. I said, how about this, nigga? I said, I'm going to save you an ass beating. I said, you're 5'2", bro. I said, you're 5'2". I said, you try to swing at me with one of these wailing ass shots I be seeing you hit on the speed bag. I'ma simply dodge it, grab your little ass and put your little ass to sleep and choke you the fuck out. That boxing shit you think you're gonna do on a big ass nigga like me, it's just not gonna work. On top of that, I know how to fight as well. So I said it ain't gonna work. He's like, all right, come to the gym, nigga. See, throw it at blah, blah, blah. I was just like, look, I see you with these puny ass followers. Maybe you're jealous of my newfound, not even newfound, maybe you're jealous of my online presence or something. I said, how about we both put up 30 bands? I said, you do 30, I do 30. He was like, all right, bitch ass nigga. He was like, show your 30 first. I said, what the fuck you mean show my 30 first? I just said 30 for 30. He's like, nah, nigga. He's like, put up the 30. Nah, fuck all that 30 shit. Come to the gym. I said, all right, my nigga, I'm going to say it again. You 5'2". When you got 30 bands to put up, I'll put up my 30. Winner, whoever gets KO'd, fucked up, takes the 60. He didn't want to do it. So I left the nigga on my Instagram. And then like for a minute, he just like kept DMing me shit. And I said, look, I don't know what your problem is with me. But I said, I thought we was cool over the years. I said, I don't know what your problem is with me, but I think you need to focus on what happened to you in your personal life. Because what happened was he had got a brand new house, right? He had just got married. He got a brand new house. And his son had one of those hoverboards. And his son left the hoverboard charging in the fucking garage. So it burnt his entire house down. So I don't know if this nigga like was mad about what was going on in his personal life. But his brand new house got burnt to the fucking ground. They lost everything. I said, look, nigga, I said, you're 5'3". And I said, on top of that, you need to focus on what's at home. I said, have a good life, bro. I don't know if that was that nigga's karma for being a fake ass thug back in the day. Cause he used to be like one of these short, crispy black niggas that would just be like going up and just sneaking niggas out of nowhere and shit. Like he'll just catch somebody at the mall, be like, bing, bitch ass nigga, you should have been looking, bitch ass nigga. Yeah, he was like one of those. But there was a point in time, like we was really cool when we was kids. Like I'm talking about really, really fucking cool. But he ended up being a fake ass nigga, like most blacks. And I was very surprised when he came at me like that on Instagram. I said, yo, is this dude serious? I was like, I think people's last depiction of me is just like, most people haven't been around since I've been like a teenager. So their last depiction of me is just still this quiet, unoutspoken motherfucker. But I'm nothing like that anymore. Why did I bang his girl? Because I already told you the story. I'm going to tell it to you briefly again. We were teenagers, right? I was fucking with some bitch that he wanted me to fuck with. because it was his girlfriend at the time's homegirl. He's like, yeah, fuck with the homegirl such and such, my nigga. Like, just do it for me. Like, even if you ain't really feeling her. I was like, all right, I'll fuck with her, whatever. It's like some light-skinned bitch with a big-ass forehead. I was like, all right, cool. I said, I'll fuck with her. Long story short, we ended up talking and everything like that. I ended up fucking her. And then I really didn't like her. So once I was done with her for a couple of months, I said, sister, I said, usually I don't do this, but I said, I'm gonna just have to end things. I was like, I'm not really feeling you like that. And she was like crying over the phone, yelling, all that type of shit, right? So long story short, we were done. Fast forward some months. He was like, hey, my nigga. He was like, shit, old girl about to come through. She said, come through and kick it with us. I was just like, nah, I'm cool. He's like, you sure, my nigga? He was like, she about to pull up. I said, yeah, I'm straight. I said, go ahead and kick it with her. Then he's like, she's like, my nigga, you good? Like, all right, my nigga. All right, bet. I'll hit you back later. I was like, all right, cool. Oh, you didn't know I was verified? Yeah, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. So, long story short, this dude called me back like a couple hours later. He's like, shit, my nigga. He's like, shit, what's good with you? I was like, shit, just chilling like I was doing before. He's like, my nigga. He was like, shit, old girl ended up coming over. He was like, I'm not even gonna lie to you, my nigga. I served. Yeah, that's how he talked. When I tell you guys stories, this is how these niggas talked. I tell you stories in different voices so you can have a good time listening to the story and put more authenticity to it, because this is how these people talked. So he's like, nigga, I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. I served. He was like, it was cool too. I was like, oh, you served? He's like, hell yeah, my nigga. He's like, shit. She was over here being playful with a nigga and everything like that, so I ended up fucking. I was like, okay. I said, all right, cool. I said, well, all right, I'm gonna get at you a little bit later. As soon as we get off the phone, I ended up calling up his ex, which had a crush on me. It's like some little chocolate chick. I think that was the last chocolate chick I banged too. Actually, it wasn't. It was like one more later. But so I didn't really like her, but I was like, all right, I knew she had a crush on me or whatever. So I called her up. I was like, such and such. She's like, oh, what's up? She's like, well, it's kind of weird you're calling me. I was like, yeah, you know, I always thought she was sexy and chocolate, blah, blah, blah. I was just talking to her, gaming her up. I was like, shit, you should come through next week. She's like, all right, I'll come through after school. So she came through. I ended up fucking, sucking on her titties, all that type of shit. So me and the homie used to always talk on the phone. So he had called me. He's like, shit, my nigga, what you up to today? I was like, you know, I just got finished serving. He's like, got finished serving. He's like, oh, you got a new bitch? He's like, who was it, my nigga? I was like, shit. You know, Tiffany. My merch is fire. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hold on. I'm gonna wait till that donation kick through so I can finish. I got new merch coming though. I got new hoodie designs and shit dropping. Yeah, of course his heart dropped. Cause he asked me a couple of times. He's like, Tiffany, like, shit, you know what Tiffany, my nigga? I was like, yeah. I said, the Tiffany, you know. He was like, wait a minute. He was like, my ex Tiffany? Like, my Tiffany? I said, yeah. I was like, she came through and I ended up serving. He was like, oh, he's like, my nigga, you fucked Tiffany, my nigga? I said, yeah. I said, I figured since you served such and such, I figured that I could serve old girl. And, you know, since that's what we was doing. He was like, oh, he's like, I'm gonna hit you back, my nigga. Got off. The other homie had called me with all the bootleg tattoos. He's like, hey, he's like, my nigga, he's like, you fuck Tiffany? I was like, yeah. He was like, he's like, man, that nigga he was like low-key broken hearted over that. He's like, he couldn't even believe you did that. He said, that was out of your character. I said, out of my character? I said, he ended up fucking old girl. So I thought that since he fucked old girl, then I could go ahead and fuck Tiffany. He was like, damn. He's like, yeah, that nigga said he don't even look at you the same. I was like, shit, that's cool. So like shit was just never the same after that. And then the whole like fucking honey badger fighting situation with the fucking gun in the car. Like, yeah. So I guess maybe that dude still had a chip on his shoulder over some shit from so many goddamn years ago. Cause man, when I said that shit on that Tyron Woodley post, this dude just really just came for my head and refused to put up the 30 bands. And I guess he thought I was the same fucking quiet motherfucker from when we were kids or some shit like that. But Yeah, I'm sorry. Unless you're like trained in MMA, I'm not letting no 5'2" nigga put tips on me. It's just not happening. I know how to use my range, footwork, all of that shit. Got me fucked all the way up. Your ass better be trained in, you better be doing jujitsu tournaments and be a trained MMA ass nigga with crazy wrestling or some shit. But just some regular black ass nigga who be hitting a speed bag, I'ma fuck your shit up. I don't know what the fuck he became, but you know, he took the greater route in life besides that honey badger shit he tried pulling off on me. Do I still have black friends? It's a good fucking question. Let me think. Did I kick it with? Man, I got one black dude. Yeah, I got like 2. Thanks for the 10, I appreciate it. Deserve to be brokenhearted. Yeah, he was on some foul shit. But most of the people I'm cool with, they're not black.
That dude deserved to be brokenhearted. Thank you, LT.
Like all my snake stories and everything like that are about niggas. That's unfortunately that's what it is. Like any beefs that I ever had in life, it had to do with niggas. Anytime I had people scheming me or scamming me, it had to do with niggas. Like there was never a time that it wasn't like, you know. It's just the name of the game. But right now, like, yeah, there's nobody I like kick it with IRL. I have cool homies that I speak to on the phone and shit like that. But as far as like kicking it IRL, nah. I had one homie that was cool, the African homie that I would hit the gym with. But I mean, if we never kicked it outside of the gym, I mean, technically, like we cool, but I guess that's really just an associate. Oh, this is the dude that's making an excuse on why he fucking felt like he was emasculated because the 19-year-old white kid called him a bitch. Speaking of a 19-year-old white kid, I'm going to show you guys something on Twitter that I'm telling you, niggas always got a chip on their shoulder, bro. No matter what the age, niggas always are the first motherfuckers to try to do some sort of violence. All right, let me see. Some of you guys know what I'm going to pull out.
You got a place of business. You're supposed to uphold yourself to a certain standard. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. But, like, I'm not finna let you call me no bitch, though.
Oh, you came back with some media training? That's what your publicist told you to say?
I don't got a publicist.
You apologize to niggas?
I ain't got no publicist. I need a fucking publicist. If there's a publicist out there, nigga, to him. But I'm sorry to the fans and all of the crew who was here, any future guests that might want to come, you know what I'm saying? That's looking at them like, oh, they hella unprofessional up there. Nah, that was me, you know what I'm saying, being a hothead and a nigga called me a bitch. So I just had to, I don't think that shit was cool though. You feel me? I just want to lay that out there. Like, I don't think that shit was cool. Like, but at the same time, if I could redo that shit, I either wouldn't take I wouldn't take the interview because I'm not gonna say I wouldn't do exactly what I did to him if you call me a bitch. I just wouldn't do it at all. Now,
that's the thing is he's not even a real 00. He's a fake 00. A real hood nigga is not getting a Majin Buu tattoo on the fucking front base of their hand. He's an ex-dork that wants to be a goon. Bro, the whole archetype is there. The Cartier watch, the trying to sit like a goon. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. I guarantee there's no real shooters or nothing like that with Majin Buu tattoos. They don't got time for that shit. They didn't grow up watching fucking Dragon Ball Z. He's an ex-dork that started kicking it around goons and shit like that and felt cooler once he was around niggas. Like, I know how black people operate. I'm black. I know how niggas, like I just told you guys a story. Like,
I want to start from the beginning.
Yeah, I want to give a timeline.
But
For the people who don't know exactly what went down.
But before we get into that, I do want to say, you being a currently active rapper it kind of puts you in a very different position.
Because I would have never been able to live it down.
Right.
Yeah.
I would have always heard about that shit.
Definitely. That wouldn't have went good.
So he thought because he was a quote unquote rapper, which would never top the charts or anything of the sort, he thought since he was a rapper that if the white guy called him a bitch, if he didn't fire on him, then he was going to lose his quote unquote street cred. Nah, a lot of niggas know what anime is and shit like that. You guys see Lil Ben in here playing Smash Brothers, whooping niggas' asses and shit like that on the block. But this dude, I'm telling you, I've seen old pictures. The nigga used to work at McDonald's and everything like that. He's not a real double O.
Even if you were like, oh, okay, that's cool, but let's talk about it outside. It's still like, oh, he just got called a bitch.
I couldn't win for losing.
Yeah.
I couldn't win for losing. That's why I would say the only way I could win was to not do the interview.
I honestly, he said he couldn't win for losing. Honestly, you don't get any stripes for beating up a 19-year-old skinny white kid. You just don't. And I'm going to show you guys something else where you don't get stripes that I really don't understand how a lot of people are condoning the behavior of this old head unk who was putting tips on this young ass white kid. Hold on, fuck all this. All this nigga's doing is explaining why he fired on somebody he knew he could fade. All right, let me see. Bro, where the fuck is the other account? The fuck is my at? Hold up. Oh, where the fuck is my shit at? Ain't even my fucking profile. Bro, why is all this shit popping up over my actual account? Bruh. All right. See how many men are on my dick? Yo, where's my account? All right. This is why niggas can't really find me. All right, so let me see. Why are we talking about Fortnite? Did they is there something special going on at Fortnite or what? All right, I'm gonna find this video. Some of you guys know what the fuck I'm talking about. This shit right here. All right, so what you have here is a prime example of another black dude who can't keep his cool. And this is why we will always have this depiction of just being hotheads and getting involved with drama, and we don't live too long. We're either dying of heart attacks from eating too much barbecue and red meat or through confrontation. So obviously this is like a young ass white kid, just probably, you know, just like anybody else that's young, whether he's white or not. Like when you're like fucking 20 and shit like that, like you're gonna think you know everything. So, you know, this is like some 20-year-old karate kid or some shit like that, right? I think he has a YouTube channel. He's trying to show the quote unquote black sensei that I guess knows Bruce Leroy style karate and MMA hood training how to kick. So you can see the black dude already has a chip on his shoulder. Unc already has a chip on his shoulder. I mean, he's got this Superfly Jones stance and shit going on. He already has a chip on his shoulder. You could just tell by his stance when, he already had attitude. If I can give you a depiction of this man's face, he's like, all right, nigga. All right. Yeah, you gonna tell a nigga how to kick. Nigga, I've been kicking in your ass. All right, nigga, I'ma listen, but shit, you say one thing, I'ma fuck your ass up, nigga. And basically, that's how he's standing. So a real teacher, right? The kid was being disrespectful before the clip. I don't give a fuck. This nigga looked like he about a good 53 years old. You're gonna let somebody that's basically a kid tilt you at 53? Telling you, man, these niggas, they have no self-control. That's why we die early. Aneurysms, heart attack, combustion of over barbecue eating, and violence. All right, so let's see what's going on.
You have that option, or you can just go straight to that one, or you can stop foot and hit. Okay, simplify it.
Yeah, diabetes is all a part of that barbecue shit.
I'll go easy, right? Which side? Okay. I don't know. You know, let me know. I'll go super easy. You can see it coming, right?
Nah, we're not gonna get going without sparring here, dude, because I'm gonna really kick you. Don't do that shit. Let's get sparring here.
So, here's what I would have did differently. Like, instantly the black dude got pissed because the white kid was like, all right, let's not do all that. Like, let's just get sparring gear. He could have just calmly been like, all right, young man, all right, let's get the sparring gear then. But instead, he gets pissed off because his rack of ribs isn't ready with his fucking goddamn special custom barbecue sauce that his wife's cooking on the other side of the house. He has a chip on his shoulder.
Hey, listen, young man.
So he immediately wants to assert his Bruce Leroy dominance and overtalk the guy. I'd have just like been like, all right, cool. I personally would have just been like, listen, I've been here longer than you. Say what you got to say. He would have said, let's get sparring gear. I'm like, excellent. I'd have been like, Johnson. I would have been, Mr. Johnson, can you get the sparring gear for us? I'd have been calm about it, and we could have had an authentic fade. But instead, Mr. Honey Badger. But it's a way you're supposed to handle shit when there's somebody that's like extremely, like, this dude look like he fucking 22 years old. And this dude look like he like 54. Just let him say what he got to say. Gently be like, all right, put on the gloves. And then it would have been a better video if he would have just gently whooped his ass after they put on sparring gear. But trying to overtalk a negative, like, just let him say just let him say what he got to say. But, check this out. I'm always going to put black people in the wrong because I feel like there's so many different ways we could diffuse certain shit. So I'm never going to be on a nigga just striking somebody first. I'm sorry. I'm just never going to do it.
I've been disrespectful. You walked into my motherfucking class.
You've been disrespectful the whole time, bro. You've been putting me down the whole time since I've been here, bro.
That's how you feel, man? So what, you want to put some clothes on, man? You want to spar? You want to put some clothes on right now? Give his ass his gloves. Since you want to be up here, because I will knock you the fuck out.
So he said, get his ass some gloves. Then instantly, as soon as, I don't know, maybe the white dude's like 25 max. Instantly, the 54-year-old barbecue eating black man with extra bullseye special sauce. Because the only way you grow up, the only way you turn into an old man and speaking like this, you had to have had endless years of barbecue. It's a certain way that you talk when you become an old black man. it's because you've had so many years of eating barbecue ribs and fucking eating red meat, so it slows down your talk, and then you just get this Uncle Leroy style of talking to you. See, like somebody like Will Smith, you could tell he didn't like eat a lot of barbecue in life because he still sounds extremely poised when he talks. He still has punctuation at 53, 54 years old. This black guy's had lots of fucking barbecue. All right, so check this out. So he says, I will knock you the fuck out. 54-year-old guy. Hits the white dude first. Fuse blown at 54 years old. He only did it because he felt that he could. See, niggas only fire first on people they feel like they can do it too. Let me show you a quick video. Let me see if I can fucking find it. What's that video? Yo, somebody help me find that fucking video where it was a nigga who thought that he was top tier and got beat up by this white trucker. For some reason, niggas think that just because you ain't black, they can automatically whoop your ass. I don't know why niggas think like that. Like, just because you're black doesn't mean you instantly have better hands than a white guy or somebody else. Like, what? Yeah, it's the gas station shit. How do I find the clip? I'm not pro-white at all. I just think that niggas should handle their emotions better. If that's what you got out of it, how about I pro-block you? See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of shit that I'm saying is going over regular honey badgers' heads. We're the most confrontational people, and I'm showing you shit that proves it. So how the fuck can I be pro-white when we're supposed to be able to handle our fucking emotions better? Dumbass nigga. Nigga said I'm pro-white because I'm not agreeing with blacks swinging on niggas first. That's what I'm talking about. Nigga, go eat some fucking barbecue. Nigga, go get a fucking goddamn rack of ribs. And some fucking potato salad. The fuck? All right, I can't find a video by typing that shit in. It's on Reddit. All right, hold on.
Yo, what up, yo? What's going on? What did I miss? What the fuck did I miss from this man-child? Did I miss anything? And why the fuck am I dropping frames, bro?
Results. Let me see. Okay, I found it. Let's continue doing what I'm doing though. I'm just showing you we're fake, we're fake bravado out. Niggas always got to be the first person to fire. Like,
also, guys, how's the delay? Is it really like, is it delaying like crazy?
And then it instantly, as soon as he got mad at 54 years old, he started saying nigga. I will knock you the fuck out, my nigga, to a white kid.
He said that black people's stress and anger are caused by barbecue. Yo, that is so racist.
Then if the white dude would have came back You know,
He
with a
said
fucking
that.
with a
Full
magnum or a
stress
pistol
and anger
and popped
caused by
Unk, then it
barbecue.
would have been a fucking hate crime, and we would have been out there marching and shit
Yo,
like
this
that.
motherfucker has
Talking
no
about equality,
chill, bro.
No justice has
Absolutely
been served.
no fucking chill.
You want to put some gloves on right now? Give me back some gloves. Since you want to be up here, because I will knock you the fuck out, my nigga. Knock you the fuck. My nigga, knock you.
What fucked up shit is this, bro? Like, what's the point of this? What's the whole point of this?
Now I'm trying to figure out why the fuck was this old man so mad? Why was you that upset? What the fuck this nigga do to you that was so hurtful? To where you just had to just throw this motherfucker down, start bombing on him. Like, what was the point of this shit? Tell you, man, niggas are not in check with their fucking emotions, bro. A man with emotions makes irrational decisions.
Yo, guys, I might turn down the stream and then restart it because for some freaking reason,
jail
I'm dropping
time,
frames.
so on and so forth.
I have no idea. Like, are you guys buffering right now?
Man, like I said, a lot of you motherfuckers, look, I don't expect you to agree with me, but what I'm saying is I seen a lot of people condoning this shit, like white guys and all that shit to an extent. Like I seen a bunch of people condoning this 54-year-old nigga putting tips on somebody that didn't even throw a first blow and it was just talking at the mouth. He didn't call the old man a bitch or anything. He just said, you're being very disrespectful, bro. Let's get some gloves. Let's get some gear. Didn't even give him a chance to get the gear. Motherfucker just instantly started firing on him at fucking 54 years old.
Oh, you buffer scramble?
How the fuck the kid asked for it? Because he said, let's get sparring gear?
Audio cuts in and out. Yeah, I might. I'm thinking about doing it.
He said, get his ass some gloves. Oh, the white dude, he headbutted him. Okay, I get you. Yeah, okay, I get you. I'd have just served him right there and be like, yo, somebody get the gloves after this, nigga.
Yo, you want to know what's so funny? You constantly hear this motherfucker saying, I would have served him. I would have beat his ass.
There's still ways to go around it. I would have served him right there.
But he has never done anything of that nature, IRL. You know what I'm saying? Like,